Hello, everybody, far and wide, and welcome to this forum that looks back in time. Courtesy of Casa D18 Studios, we hope you enjoy what's being called Throwback Thursday. Over the coming weeks, months, and hopefully years to come, we hope that you will enjoy us opening the vaults and archives to look back at some of the most unique content across all of our platforms, whether it's Casa D18 Studios, the Jeff Meacham Network, NoDQ.com, my Simple YouTube channel, The Simple Man's Brand, and of course, FTW Productions, hosted by James Hebert at jhebertside95. It basically is just going to offer you a ton of classic content. So with that being said, buckle up, have fun, take a seat, just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling and enjoy what this Throwback Thursday has in store for you. And again, I hope that you stay tuned for many more that hopefully will come too.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. All Retro Wrestling Review Series videos on demand and upcoming. All WrestleMania themed retros available now on demand. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. Indy Force Episode 26, available now on demand. Jeff Meacham Network, Backlash and Rebellion Watch-Along events. FTW Productions watch party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. A simple take. WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View impromptu. WYW intro and Immortal stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7, our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from A Simple Man's Brand.
Did we just witness the greatest professional wrestling pay-per-view of all time and truly saw the freaking wrestling industry change forever? I think we very well just might have done that because last night, AEW literally did what they said they were going to do. They went all out. And last night, my voice is shot. King probably fainted, and Casey probably thought he literally was resurrected. And so tonight we come together to bring you our thoughts regarding ATW View of AEW All Out. Literally this and so much more is going to be discussed tonight on this ATW Spotlight. Hello everybody, good evening to you or morning whenever you watch this. My name is Noah Foster, of course, and I am the Simple Man and the co-voice of the Jeff Meacham Network. And of course, with me tonight is I say the preacher man, Casey Flynn, and of course the King A-Train Anthony. And last night we went all elite and are here to bring you our simple takeaways from the incredible night of action we had at AEW All Out. That being said, Casey, how are you tonight? We're 24 hours removed from that phenomenal pay-per-view. Give me your just general consensus of what you saw last night.
What I saw last night was a phenomenal masterpiece of an AEW All-Out pay-per-view from start to finish. I literally enjoyed it so damn much. And Sunday, can we please go back to Sunday of last night? That was just too epic right there. I miss AEW All Out already. Take me back, please. I want to see that again. God, I want to see that again. Make it live again. Man, please inject more AEW into my blood, into my veins. Give me it, please. Please give it to me. And what I thought, Adam Cole, baby, and Ruby Soho, Ruby Soho, and Bryan Danielson, yes. Being all elite, I thought Those 3 debuts were absolutely awesome for AEW. Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, and Bryan Danielson is going to absolutely kill it in AEW. They are going to thrive so bad. They're going to thrive so good. They're going to be excellent additions to AEW. And Minoru Suzuki appearing after the John Moxley match. Minoru Suzuki, man, let me see that match. John Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki Wednesday night. That's gonna be a battle of the lunatics in the ring because both of these guys are killers and they are gonna rip each other's face off. This is a perfect matchup for John Moxley heading into Wednesday night and Minoru Suzuki. Never been this proud to be an AEW fan, and AEW literally has my interest and they restored my passion into professional, let me say it, fucking wrestling. And AEW is literally, all I gotta say is, I'm gonna be honest here, they are at the top of their game right now and they are at their peak. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, very nice general consensus summary. And ladies and gentlemen, let it be known, we are just general professional wrestling fans, but we also have acknowledged wrestling in its other forms too. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. You gotta have an outlook for everything too, which is why you might hear on this man's screen in the background, sports entertainment. Everyone has their own flavor. Gotta follow the product. You do care about some of the people you see in that company too. With that being said, you saw him go bleh on his screen and trying to figure out his audio too. I think he's got an order. King A-Train, Anthony, the Elite King, baby. How fitting of an addition to your title. Your general consensus about last night before we start reviewing the matches. How did you feel about AEW All Out?
Trying to tell people all this time, do not sleep on AEW because of the fact that as we look at this roster and we look at it a few years from now, when we, get really old and we still living on this earth, we're going to look back on this event itself and be like, wow, AEW is building possibly the greatest roster that has ever been assembled on this planet Earth. And how in the world can Tony Khan pull off some greatest of all time shit? Like, seriously. I mean, you signed, let's see, if we can run down the list of acquisitions that he has signed, let's run it down.
Go for it.
Malachi Black, Andrade El Idolo, CM Punk, Ruby Riott, well, Ruby Soho, bots on my part. And now, I mean, what I should have said now. And now Ruby Soho, Adam Cole, baby, and now Bryan Danielson. What in the hell are we living in 2021? Because if you are asleep on AEW, like I said on my Twitter last night, wake up, because AEW is here to stay. AEW is not playing around. And let me say this in final conclusion. Holy shit on Minoru Suzuki. And now you over there, y'all see you smiling over there. You get to see him live in Cincinnati in the rematch of Mox and Suzuki.
Yes. Sorry, broken record. Yes, you're right. I do, because I am going, as per a gift I did to my brother from church, Paul Mead. Me and him will be going All Elite. Me for my second time around, his first time ever, straight to Cincinnati Wednesday. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. That being said, the atmosphere, the flow, the variety, the card, the wild surprises, everything about last night was on point. So much to discuss. And I'm sure we're going to have our own simple star ratings too. Shout out, of course, to our fellow ATW brother, the Inquirer. Go follow him at Neo Reality Entertainment. All his platforms will be in the link tree in the description down below. He gave his own star system. We will acknowledge the Neo Reality star system here at the Meltzer star system. This is ATW. We're our own family of professional wrestling, have our own outlook. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So of course, we start off with the buy-in with a fun 10-man tag team action as the families collided, as Matt Hardy was looking to delete Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. Now with Jurassic Express in their corner, they faced, of course, each other off in 10-man action. And I must say, this was a rather fun match. I enjoyed the spots we had where at one point you had everybody locked up in a modern art form of submission variants and Luchasaurus really barreling through them. You had electric chair duels, something out of a beer pong fraternity party where, of course, Jurassic Express got the better. And in the end, it was the Best Friends and Company that did prevail with Jungle Boy locking on and Helico. No choice but to tap out. But afterwards, Matt Hardy looking to finally get his revenge. Celebrating, I guess, by himself. The Butcher. The Butcher is back. I'm so happy to see Andy Complaints back from injury and went to go obliterate Orange Cassidy. And then it looked like they were trying to take away one thing that defined Orange Cassidy, besides the hands in the pocket, is very hair. But before that could be done, some of the people with the best hair in the company, including Jurassic Express and Good Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. and others, including John Silver, who had problems with the Hardy family office, and so much more, came in to even the numbers and drive the Hardy family office off. And of course, at the end, I guess Orange Cassidy got more than just best friends, a ton of friends as they embrace, because you're got to give the people what they want, as Orange Cassidy lightly celebrated. I thought this was a fun way to introduce professional wrestling into the show, get the crowd hyped. A lot of fun moments here. I enjoyed this match. I believe Eric gave it 3 stars. I agree with that. A mutual fun 10-man bout, not too long, nothing really special. Couple of fun moments. I give it 3 stars. Casey, what do you think?
I give it 4 stars with this tag match between Jurassic Express and the Best Friends versus HFO. The reason why is because I thought it was very good from back and forth. I mean, the spots in it were phenomenal. Everybody was phenomenal, and everybody did great in that tag match that night. And I had Jungle Boy, Jurassic Express, and the Jurassic Express, along Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, winning that match, because you have 2 guys that are in that tag match that are both over as hell, and that is Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy. Neither of those 2 were going to lose because they were over with the crowd so well. And Orange Cassidy, I mean, they all did phenomenal in that buy-in match, like everybody did. And we had a cool moment with Orange Cassidy doing his little shin kicks to Matt Hardy and the members, the HFO. All I got to say about that is that's all I got to say about that. And props to Jurassic Express, the Best Friends, and HFO on giving us a great tag match before AEW All Out on the button. That's all.
So 4 stars for him. Neo Reality Entertainment ratings gave it 3 stars. I think 3 stars though, but if you add the post moment and the suspension of what's to come next with this all-out war, it seems the Hardy family office and the entire tag team division, I'll give it 3.5. Plus, it's great to see the Butcher back. So yeah, I give it 3.5. King, what's your star rating before we go into the next match?
I got 3.25. I got 3.25 on mine because of the fact that it was really a nice way to get the crowd hot in Chicago with a 10-man tag. Get them up on their feet, show them what the rest of the AEW tag team division is all about. Because you got the Jurassic Express and the Best Friends, and then you got the HFO. That's a perfect way to get the crowd up on their feet. And plus the post match with the Butcher, which welcome back, Butcher. Welcome back indeed, sir. You have been missed.
Yes.
It's good to see the Butcher and the Blade back. It's good to see the Butcher and the
Indeed.
Blade back in full force. Now, with a healthy Butcher and the Blade being back in full force, we got what's to look like. We got something to look forward to now with a full, healthy AEW. Well, now I'm trying to say because half of that tag team division was like injured or nothing, because the AEW tag team division, like I've always said, is on lockdown. But with the Butcher and the Blade now being back in full force, I could see them go for a strong push for them AEW World Tag Team titles, which we will talk about that title match, which I don't want to look forward to. But I give it 3.25.
All right, fair enough. As we go into the show, again, folks, the spotlight, we keep it simple. Give you a brief outlook, summary, post thoughts, what impressed us, what we think wants to come next. I see All Out War of Harley Family Office and Best Friends, maybe Blood and Guts, or apparently hair versus hair, because apparently now they want to go after his hair. And Jack Evans still had the shears. Pretty sure we have not heard the last of that. Orange Cassidy, though, with a haircut. Whoa.
Oh,
Damn.
Only imagine, but then again, this is AEW. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some real talk as we go into the show. As the show kicked off with the TNT Championship as God's favorite champion, the Redeemer, Miro. He defended the title against the man who believed he had his kryptonite as he went after his neck constantly, Eddie Kingston. It was a hell of a competitive fight here, and Eddie Kingston constantly went after Miro's neck, and it seemed like each time Miro knew that sense of urgency, he went to the outside of the ring. That was really there where he took advantage of Eddie Kingston, literally driving the man's side first in the still ring post. Constantly, Eddie Kingston just like, hit me harder, bring more, come on, Redeemer, bring more, redeem these nuts. And literally, he just kept on wailing into the man, chops and strikes, finally hitting some freaking powerful maneuvers to the neck of Miro with DDTs and an enziguri. And eventually, it was just becoming the point of frustration where Miro finally locks in the thing over, but could not make the man tap. Turnbuckle pad goes flying off, and that goes against Eddie Kingston, as of course, referee does not see it. Mule kick, damn. And then another first kick follow-up with another high-end kick, and Miro successfully retained. This close. We keep thinking about Eddie Kingston. We want him to succeed in AEW as a champion. He's a crowd favorite, no doubt. He's a hell of a worker, but it just was not his time. The Neo Reality Entertainment star system gave this match a respectable 4 stars. I think for the fact that Miro is trying to surpass Darby Allin's reign and still is undefeated. Eddie Kingston now in his second TNT title match under standard stipulations here. I thought this was a hell of a bout. I agree. I'm just giving it a flat 4 stars as well. King, your thoughts on this match?
I said it in the ATW View, and whenever I said that I expect this match to be hard hitting more than Moose and Ishii, yep, I was so right because of the fact that I was so right because of that fact that these two men was hard hitting. It was physical, and it basically gave you of what a powerhouse of these two men whenever they collide in the ring. And Eddie Kingston lightened up Miro's chest so bad to where if you saw it, Miro's chest was black and blue, as you can see, noticeable. But in the end, Bryce, you had one job. But you let Miro low blow Eddie Kingston. And of course, your back was turned whenever he didn't see it. But you had one job to put the turnbuckle pad back on, because Chicago was not having that. But if you noticed in Chicago, that crowd was whoa.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted Eddie.
Oh, yes, Lord.
They wanted Eddie Kingston to win. And can you blame him? Like you said, Noah, he's a crowd favorite.
Don't blame him.
But I do have what I think a bold prediction what might happen. We're a few weeks away from Grand Slam Dynamite in Queens, New York, correct?
That's correct.
That's right.
Where is Eddie Kingston from again?
New York.
New
There
York.
you go. if they went with that route in Chicago, I say this: have a rematch, but do a New York City street fight. Miro and Eddie Kingston for the TNT title at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, and have Kingston win the title over Miro. New York pop. Star rating, exactly. I agree with y'all. I agree with you, and I agree with Eric. 4 stars.
Again, Bryce, one moment. I understand holding down the integrity of the ring, making sure the ring does not become a weapon or a foreign object. At one point, the turnbuckle, Patty was trying to put it back on. Eddie Kingston finally hit that spinning back fist strike and literally had Miro down for the 3 count. I thought we were going to get a new champion. Damn it. But it was still a hell of a good fight. Casey, anything to add, and what's your star rating?
All right. What I thought about this Miro and Eddie Kingston match for TNT Championship, I thought it was an awesome, hard-hitting match between 2 powerhouse wrestlers that are willing to rip each other's face off for that title. And both of them told a great story and wanting to rip each other's face off. And my pick was, of course, Miro to retain the TNT Championship there. And what got me in the middle of the match was how the turnbuckle came undone. Bryce, you could have ignored the turnbuckle right there and then fix it after the damn match was over. The turnbuckle was the least of your concern. The turnbuckle wasn't wrestling that night. It was Eddie Kingston and Miro for the TNT Championship. The turnbuckle wasn't wrestling. Does it have legs? Can it talk? Does it have a mouth? No, it's just a turnbuckle. Just ignore it and just focus on the damn match. And no wonder Chicago, was livid with you, because you had one job, and that was to call it down the middle. And you failed to do that, Bryce. And all in all, I see this match with Eddie Kingston and Miro, this rematch for the TNT title, taking place at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York City. And I see Eddie Kingston winning the TNT title in the New York City street fight match. And the crowd roars real big because Eddie Kingston will get a great hand that night, since it's his home state of New York. And my star rating for this match is 4 stars, because it was phenomenal from back and forth match. I mean, it was a phenomenal back and forth match between these two.
Yeah, and again, Miro literally his chest black and blue, but as he said after the match, God's favorite champion only lays down for his wife. And then CJ's like, oh, don't worry, I got you covered there. Ew. That's some sort of celebration. I'm just waiting for it.
You know what?
Hey. I'm keeping it PG here. Real talk. All right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. Moving forward before we go into
keep it PG.
A different topic. PG. Jeez. Moving forward before we go into a forbidden door we shouldn't go into, let's go into a forbidden door that was a hell of a lot of fun. As the Death Rider, Jon Moxley took on the living legend himself, Satoshi Kojima. Again, this was another really fun match, kind of out of nowhere. It really was like the Jon Moxley Open Challenge to really see who could step up to this man and really bring it to him here at AEW. Not just in All Elite Wrestling, but in a professional wrestling ring. This was just a straight up strong style bout. Both these men chopping the hell out of each other. Jon Moxley feeling like he had the best of Kojima several times, but Kojima He's not a guy to take lightly, and Jon Moxley learned that the hard way on several occasions. Literally eating the Koji cutter, the machine gun chops, and even, shout out to his partner Hiroyoshi Tensen, those Mongolian chops that can collapse your shoulders and affect your height. In the end, though, Jon Moxley, he did, of course, hit the paradigm shift, and an elevated paradigm shift, to finally put away Mr. Cozy Lariat himself, who just could not pull off that big right arm lariato. They clashed with short arm lariatos and literally challenged each other for the ring, but it wasn't enough to dethrone Jon Moxley, as the Death Rider claims another victim or target, whatever you want to call it, Boogeyman strikes. Of course, Jon Moxley got the win here in a good match and did show respect afterwards. And then we wondered what was to come, but before I talk about the aftermath, I will say this. First time ever Jon Moxley and Satoshi Kojima ever clashed. I thought it was a pretty damn good fight. And according to the Neo Reality Entertainment Star System, he gave that match a respectable 4 stars as well. When you think about being a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, seeing this in America's professional wrestling, on All Elite Wrestling, that supports and encompasses and tries to bring forward all things wrestling, what we represent, I really thought that pretty much was a fair rating, and it seemed like everybody loved the match too. I agree also. I give it 4 stars as well. Casey, your brief summary and thoughts about this match before the post angle and your star rating.
All right. What I thought about the Jon Moxley and the Kojima match, I thought it was awesome from start to finish, and you had a lot of cool moments and spots right in the Jon Moxley and Kojima match. And Kojima looked amazing for his age in his 50s. I mean, the guy is in great shape for his 50s. I gotta give him that. And Jon Moxley and Kojima put up one hell of a match last night, and I literally enjoyed it from start to finish. And my star rating that I give it is 4 stars, because both of these guys told a great story, and they both told it great with their facial expressions of of how they want to rip each other's face off. I mean, they literally told a great story at night. But the forbidden door after Jon Moxley won, the legend Minoru Suzuki. My God. You talk about that dude is a killer and a bad son of a bitch you do not want to mess with. Minoru Suzuki is nobody to mess with. And I cannot wait to tune into that match between Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley this Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite. The Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley segment after the match, I thought was awesome as hell. And Minoru Suzuki getting the upper hand showed you right there. We are in for one hell of a night Wednesday night when the legendary Minoru Suzuki comes to town for AEW Dynamite versus Jon Moxley, because that's going to be a battle between 2 men that you do not want to mess with. And I cannot pick a winner heading into that match on Dynamite, because Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley are both tough son of a bitches that can put up great matches, and that is very hard to predict the winner.
All right. And again, I will be seeing that live. I still can't believe the man trained by Carl Gotch, a living legend, been in the ring with Josh Barnett. He's facing Jonathan Gresham in GCW. These two previously faced each other for the IWGP United States Championship back at the freaking New Beginning, and literally gave me one of my most epic matches to date. And literally this was Wrestle Kingdom vibes, as he once again recreated that energy after John Moxley was victorious and dropped him in the middle of the ring as these two cycles were laughing maniacally and hitting each other. But I digress. I'm getting too damn excited. There's another person that needs to talk. James, your thoughts on the match, Joseph Kadira versus John Moxley, your star rating, and the aftermath. I'm very excited. I'm a Suzuki-gun pro for life. Just saying. Go ahead, King. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good, man. You let your fandom out.
You're
That's
good,
what I care
man.
about the most. I don't know why this match wasn't talked heavily as much, and I get that we were supposed to get Tanahashi, but Tanahashi had reasons,
right,
that he could not, control, which turns up to Tanahashi, by the way. And Kojima is an underrated New Japan, All Japan pro wrestling legend, which it proved everybody like, oh, why was it a sleeper? Yeah, basically it wasn't no sleeper. That was basically your traditional New Japan style type of match, of which I love so much. I just can't get enough of it. So,
yep.
Exactly. Strong style for life. I mean, whenever you get Moxley, you have Kojima. When the match was first announced, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is really about to happen. Kojima is about to enter AEW ground, and we're about to have a New Japan pro wrestling style type of match in Chicago. And man, did the fans got their money's worth with that match. I just hope I see more New Japan and I'm talking about New Japan pro wrestling fans watch, going NJPW World. I mean, go on Fight or whatever. So, but this match was good. It was so good. I couldn't get enough of it. I just can't. So if I was to basically rate this match, I respectfully give it a 4. I agree with y'all. I give it a 4 as well. And Minoru Suzuki, you crazy man. You crazy man. You decide it's about that. It's about time. It's like Minoru Suzuki did this. It's like y'all chose to go the forbidden door without inviting me. You choose death. And who do I choose? Oh, let me start with the man who I faced at New Beginning in Osaka, February 2020. Let me start with Moxley. Oh, let's do it in his hometown, shall we, of Cincinnati, Ohio. A year in the making for this rematch. If you haven't seen this match, go back and watch it on NJPW World or find it on YouTube. Or if they have it on YouTube, go back and watch it because you're about to witness an instant classic in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Enough said. Very good. Again, the king.
Very good.
Leader of Suzuki-gun. Lance Archer's former running mate. All I gotta say is one last thing. Casa Ninare Ichiban. Anyway, for my New Japan for wrestling fans to know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, moving on. Let's go on to our next match of the night, which was, again, a very surprising match, to say the least, considering what both these two brought out on each other, even though we knew who the winner was going to be. As, of course, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defended the AEW Women's World Championship against the Galaxy's greatest alien and probably the strongest pound-for-pound woman on the AEW roster, Chris Statlander. My goodness, this match, I tell you, you talk about demonstrations of strength and emotion and how far you're willing to push an athlete. Where do I begin? I mean, Chris Statlander, again, forcing Britt to poop herself. There's a little bit of psychology, mental game for you. Britt Baker knew that Chris Statlander was definitely stronger than her from a physical standpoint, as Chris really relied on her strength several times in this match. Pulling up, of course, wild, unorthodox offense for Britt Baker to get the better of her. Things really changed, though, when Chris Statlander was building momentum and then went to the outside of the ring. Then she went for that pendulum moonsault, crashed and burned, only for Britt with a follow-up step-assisted curb stomp. Nearly won via count out. But then, of all people to react to that, the person in her corner, while Jamie Hayter and Rebel, not Reba, was in Dr. Britt Baker's corner. And by the way, Orange Cassidy, don't mess with that, man. Now you see why. Nearly counted out Chris was. Orange Cassidy takes the sunglasses off and yells at Chris Statlander. What? Orange Cassidy reactive? His heartbeat went higher than 10 beats per minute. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that gave Chris Statlander the actual mental Mia. She got back in the ring. Just saying, yeah. Raised Britt Baker on the electric chair position. Face planted her, nearly locked in submission, but Britt Baker countered. Again, these two were tit for tat every move. Almost locked in the Big Bang Theory, but couldn't do it. And as Chris Statlander looked like she was going to go for area 451, it was Britt that got the advantage, took Chris off the ropes, and then Dr. Britt Baker hit, I kid you not, Pittsburgh, because she's from there, but basically, Panama Sunrise, cover, not enough, then goes for a curb stop following that, cover, not enough, finally locks block job after not getting it in earlier, and while Chris Statlander was basically out cold, no choice, Paul Turner reached for the bell, and Dr. Britt Baker DMD successfully retained the AEW Women's World Heavyweight Championship in what I believe was definitely her best match to date. These two brought absolutely everything in what I thought was a real classic and really is showing how far the AEW Women's Division is going. I gave this match 4 1/4 because, again, Britt used her boyfriend's move. Orange Cassidy showed real emotion towards this. And Chris Statlander, she continues to surprise me. And in defeat, she has not lost anything with regards to favoritism or being a future AEW Women's World Champion. 4 1/4 for me. Phenomenal match. Change your thoughts and your rating.
My thoughts on this match is basically, wow, that was Britt's toughest title defense that she's ever had to go through because Chris Statlander is no pushover. Chris Statlander is one of the best females that they have in that women's division. And both of these women gave you basically the future of women's wrestling in this era of professional wrestling because basically there was mental psychology warfare with the Chris Statlander with the which I still can't get over that. And then Orange Cassidy. Who knew Orange Cassidy showed passion? Took his Ray-Bans off, like, get up, and got Chris Statlander to basically get up, go into which Orange Cassidy showing passion. That is the most weirdest thing you can ever add up in a math problem. But we'll get more into that. In a sentence. But still, math problem, you know. But but in the end, Britt had Chris's number. Which I, like you said, and I'm about to say that too. I cannot believe that she hit the Pittsburgh Sunrise, well, still known as the Panama Sunrise. And that's whenever I knew coming because there were teases about that from Andrew Zarian. And then I quote tweeted it and it said Panama, and I quote tweeted searching up that same picture, and it came up Panama City Beach, and it showed that same picture, and I was like, "Yep, he's coming." And then with that Panama Sunrise that Britt hit, I was like, "When was he coming?" But we'll talk more about that as we get towards the end. But Britt Baker with a lockjaw, and then she retains the AEW Women's World Championship. If I were to give this match, I give it a solid 4. Solid 4.
Fair enough. And the Neo Reality Entertainment rating star system, as mouthful, but I forgot a better name probably for it too. He also gave it 4 stars flat. Casey, your brief takeaways from this match and your rating. Wow.
All right. I thought Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander was awesome for the AEW Women's title. I mean, and Chris Statlander being strong as hell, especially with Britt Baker, especially Chris Statlander, making Britt Baker touch her own self with boop. Was I mean I laughed a little at that. And
that was funny.
Chris Statlander was a powerhouse in that match with Dr. Britt Baker, EMD. And Chris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, put up a great match for the AEW Women's title. Especially, here's one moment of mine, the sec of the match, one spot where Chris Statlander was out of the ring. Who in the hell would have ever thought Orange Cassidy took off his glasses and yelled, get up, for Statlander? Because nobody expected that Orange Cassidy. I sure didn't, because he's usually a laid back, just chilling in the corner, ringside, doing whatever like he wants. And when Orange Cassidy did that, surprised me right there of tonight, because Orange showed passion there, and Chris Statlander back in that damn ring. So as Orange Cassidy yelled, get up. And the Chris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker DMD match for the AEW Women's title was a great matchup, and they both killed it in that ring that night. And they both gave it 100% to Dr. Britt Baker. DMD came out on top and retained the AEW Women's title. And I give that a rating, that match, because it was phenomenal from start to finish, and they both have hearts of warriors and a lot of iron guts. And I respect, and I have the utmost respect for both Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Chris Statlander.
Fair enough. Again, women's wrestling, women's professional wrestling. It matters here in AEW as well. It took a while for it to finally start coming together, and there's still some work to be done. But when you can bring a match like that, you know you're doing something right. And I definitely hope to see those two clash again. Chris Statlander is a future AEW Women's World Champion, among many others. Mark my words, her day will come. She will be our actual leader.
Yep.
But she led by example what you can do in that ring, as Britt Baker once again showed why she is the baddest bitch on the roster, and this why she is the champion. Damn good stuff. All right, now you guys know me, right? I'm the reactive guy. I'm the simple man. I'm the play-by-play guy, right? So it almost feels like I should do the match, the play-by-play here, but I know somebody here that can go above that because he is elite, and it featured your boys. King, you best give your best damn good play-by-play example, explanation, and star rating for this match I'm going to give you to start talking about next. Because next up was the AEW World Tag Team Championships, where the Lucha Brothers took on the Young Bucks inside a steel cage. Before King speaks, I have two words to say. Holy shit. King, you're on
my fucking ass.
Oh my goodness. How to describe this match is basically it's basically tag team match wrestling in heaven is what I like to call it, because of the fact that, well, when you get two of your top teams in AEW go head to head once again, when Tony Khan has asked, actually he asked for this to do in 2 years. He couldn't do it in the pandemic because, well, we were dealing with the pandemic. But now here we are in 2021. And oh my goodness, those 2 years were worth the wait because of the fact that we had an AEW, I like to call chapter 1 in AEW, because they fought in AAA. They fought before they got to AEW. So I like to call it AEW chapter 1. Double or Nothing, the first pay-per-view in AEW's history. These two basically showed you why they can carry this tag team division, that they will take it to new heights, and that it will show you that tag team wrestling is not dead. And then we had chapter 2. We had that famous ladder Triple H tag in that ladder match in All Out 2 years ago, and that match stole the show that night. And then here we are, once again, Chapter 3, All Out, 2021 in Chicago. And basically, how do they top themselves? They always top themselves every time they step in the ring. You had super kicks thrown. You even had Matt Jackson with an Air Jordan 1s with thumbtacks in the match, and basically used it as a weapon. That I don't think that's ever been done in professional wrestling history, to where you have thumbtacks thrown on the sole of an Air Jordan 1 expensive shoe and just use it as a weapon. That's impossible. But I would never do that to my Air Force One. As y'all know, I am a sneakerhead. I would never do that with mine. I would just leave it the way how it is. And then we know Ray Phoenix's style. I swear, the man's body is made out of rubber. I swear on everything I love in my life. The man's made of rubber. Whenever you see him dive off the top of the steel cage with that cross body and just basically, you look up in the sky, you're like, oh my God, is that a plane? Is that a bird? No, that's just Ray Phoenix, high elevation, high hang time in that match. So it's basically tag team wrestling. It has never went away. It will never go away. And the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks just proved to you why that tag team wrestling exists in AEW, along with the best tag teams that has ever came through that division. And plus, we got new champs. Am I happy with the result? No, but do I give a respect in the end? Damn sure I do, because of the fact that I've always said it, that if anybody's next in line for those AEW World Tag Team titles, it's the Lucha Bros and the teams in AEW's history, 2-year history. And let me let you on another prediction, like I just did a while ago in that Miro and Eddie Kingston match. Santana took it to Twitter after the match and said, "Enjoy it, my brothers. One day it will happen." I say this, if Proud and Powerful is, if Santana in the 22nd, let's have another tag team classic, shall we? Lucha Bros, Santana and Ortiz for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Let's have another banger of a tag team match. And the match I am basically, when it comes, I am always elite with my boys, which is why I feel like this match doesn't deserve, I feel like this match is going to go over, and I hate to say this, but it's going to reach Melcher's scale. And I hate to say that because of how great this tag team match was. 5.25. 5.25.
Damn. 5.25? Okay, hold on. Real talk. I got to ask you. Did you think this steel cage match surpassed the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and him and Adam Page last year at AEW Revolution?
And that match was also a classic too. By a slight bit, by this much, it overpassed them by that much. That's why I added the 2-5 in there, because it surpassed that match by that much. No offense to Kenny and Hangman, and plus all four of them are best friends and they know how to work in that ring. But whenever you get the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks in the same ring in a tag team match, it's hard to pass them up. It's hard to pass it up.
Well, considering it's a battle of two families versus an internal family feud, I do get what you're saying, how it does feel a bit more personal too. So I do get why you gave that the extra star rating. The Neo Reality Entertainment Star Rating System, I believe, gave that match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy hell, is that accurate? He gave it 6 stars.
Ooh, wow. I just gave it a 5.25, but dang, a 6?
Eric, what the hell? Folks, stay tuned. I'm sure he's going to talk about that match more. I don't know how he gave it 6, but I mean, it was crazy, but I don't know if I'd go that high. Damn. But I will say this before I let Casey give his piece. That was a fucking phenomenal, insane match where those two brothers literally put everything into one another to protect each other in defeat and also preserve their opponent to the point they wanted to make sure they were down for the count, dead and out. There was at least 4 separate occasions I thought this match would end on either side, 2 and 2. At one point, you had the 4-corner super kick party standoff where they're super kicking each other, only for literally McPherson to kip up, rebound super kick, Nick, I believe it was, who fell down, and then another Young Buck super kick ran them finally down, and that was the only time all 4 of these men were incapacitated for at least longer than friggin' 10 seconds. And then, yeah, you're right, a $5,000 Air Jordan type shoe turned into a weapon. I got PWG vibes from that when they do the same thing to Casa D18 with a wrestling boot. And then, of course, they literally were tearing away the history, the legacy, the heresy. You know how much the freaking Lucha Brothers hold family close to their hearts. Live performance-wise in Chicago, too, of their theme. Literally tearing away their mask, leaving them all a bloody mess. Blood, sweat, tears, heart, and soul was all given, including that ridiculous destroyer for the near fall, and then the crossbody up the top, like you said, into the assisted package power driver, as literally the Lucha Brothers finally became the AEW Tag Team Champions, and the Young Bucks met their match at least for 3 seconds. Again, this match, if you do not watch this match, I don't know what is wrong with you if you're a professional wrestling fan. Holy hell, and I give it literally 5.5. Casey, your thoughts on this match and your star rating. I'm not sure a tag team match this year will top that.
All right. Holy shit, mother of God. This tag match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I'm sorry, but I give this match of the fucking night right here. Because this tag match and inside the steel cage was a masterpiece of a tag match. I mean, the spots in it were so damn awesome, so badass and cool. And the one spot of the night, thumbtacks inside the damn shoe resembled a damn football cleat that they used in the tag match. And these two tag teams went all out and told a great story in this match. And they added color in it and showed how brutal this steel cage match was. And they both preserved like each other in victories and defeats and all this. And they protected their characters well. And both of these tag teams put on an instant classic of a match. I mean, it was literally the best tag team match in professional wrestling that I ever seen between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. And for that, I give this match a 7.6.
All right, now you crazy.
It's star.
Okay.
Now you crazy.
Because this tag match was a masterpiece. And it was absolutely glorious. And if somebody has a chance, whoever out there is a professional wrestling fan, check out that tag team match between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team titles, because you will be on the edge of your seat in that tag match. And the end result, not only 7.6 stars I give it, but I give it the verdict, greatest of all time tag match in the modern era of professional wrestling, period. That's all I got to say.
The FTR versus Young Bucks, to the Young Bucks versus Omega and Kenny Omega and Hangman, to New Japan Pro Wrestling stack ups of the freaking Dangerous Techers and Naito and Sonata to even the Usos and the instant classics they have had with duos like the freaking New Day. I'll give credit to. Again, I'm unbiased. I just watch all wrestling. Dude, that is a hell of a personal opinion moniker you just gave this match. But the moment, especially when Ray Phoenix was about to eat that thumbtack shoe for Penta to come in and eat it again, Zero Miedo, but again, family preserved too. The things that these two did to each other as brothers and teams, but the thing that they did to protect one another as family in their fact they are teams of brothers was unbelievable. And the moment afterwards, those titles were drenched in the Lucha Brothers' blood, and Penta literally embracing his family, including his daughter and his wife. Literally, the daughter literally holding the blood of her father on her face. That was just unbelievable. And the fact that steel cage was used to literally keep this inside, but it was not used towards the result, as again, the only way to win was pinfall or submission. And this thing did not have a roof, and they did go to the top to use it. I can only imagine what would have happened if one of the Bucks got up there with a Lucha Bro. We would have probably saw an avalanche Spanish fly. Someone would have died.
Ooh.
But bottom line is this: second ever steel cage match in AEW history. And the second time around, the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks face each other for tag team gold under AEW. Fucking phenomenal match. I will say that. I think you're crazy with what you said, but fucking phenomenal match. And congratulations to the
Thank
new
you.
AEW
I
tag team
appreciate
champions.
that comment.
7.6.
And one more thing.
7.6.
Okay, calm down, King. Calm down. One more thing you might find interesting here, gentlemen. When I watched the post-me at Scrum, and Penta says that at one point they would love to face the Young Bucks in a hair versus mask match.
Whoa.
Oh.
And I watched the media scrum. I did not hear that part. I was came in late.
Guys, imagine that. The Young Bucks putting their hair on the line versus the Lucha Brothers mask. That might be the final match that the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks ever face each other in. That could be your definitive ending.
Because, let me say this. If
Oh
that
my
match
God.
took place and the Young Bucks lost, might as well call them the Bald Bucks.
And
Oh
King,
boy.
and King remains silent off that joke that probably just got crickets. Bottom line is this, though. Young Bucks, Lucha Brothers, two of the best tag teams in professional wrestling of all time. Instant classic delivered last night. Bar none. Bar none.
Thank you, Young Bucks. Yeah, thank you, Young Bucks. Thank you, Lucha Brothers, for giving us an instant classic.
Thank you, Young Bucks. Thank you, Lucha Brothers. Amen to that.
But I will say
That was a hell of a match.
I will say this. I kind of feel bad for this next match because a lot of the participants here had a hard act to follow. As the next match was the Casino Battle Royale, where 21 women duked it out in an over-the-top rope battle royale to determine the next challenger for Dr. Britt Baker DMD's AEW World Championship. You see several of the participants in front of you. Others include, of course, Sky Blue. Let's see here. I'm blanking right now. There are so many names, but you get the idea. 20 women and a Joker. I will say this. There was some really fun moments in this match, but nothing I would say, oh my God. I mean, Allie, she had an incredible performance as she kicked off the show. Shut up. As she kicked off the show. And stop that. And literally at one point, her and Abaddon went face to face. Yeesh. And then freaking Allie eliminated Abaddon. I was like, what? Allie, you just set yourself up for a death wish. Happy Death Day. Oh, by the way, shout out to Allie wearing the tape in memory of Daphne. Respect. We also had some great conglomeration.
Yes, respect to that.
Some weird fun alliances. I don't know about you guys. I don't think Riho was probably eliminated. Either that or the camera was just off site. I was kind of confused with that one, to be fair. But a lot of eliminations just happened kind of like out of nowhere. There was like nothing spectacular. There was like, a pump kick and then a kick off the apron. Anna Jay being assaulted 2-on-1 by Ali and Penelope Ford. You have new hostilities with Big Swole and Diamante, who in the end, both of them got eliminated. And then continuing to fight each other on the stage. I love the fact this rivalry is continuing. I knew that Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose would implode as Jade Cargill was eliminated by Nyla Rose later on, as Nyla Rose was a very strong competitor. Things really picked up, though, when freaking Thunder Rosa came into that battle royale, and all hell broke loose as everyone's going after her. We had Joshi Pro going after each other with Hikaru Shida, Emi Sakura, and Riho were doing hostilities. Legit later her, she put up some incredible suplexes, got shortly eliminated, but the fact she suplexed Nyla Rose, that's the strongest damn woman in this company right now. Damn. Kira Hogan came in like a spitfire, good kick in the corner. Anna Jay, Tai Conti had some good tag team chemistry. Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
And there goes
we
the
lost
king.
the king.
Well,
we also lost the king.
We also lost Kylan King as she was shortly eliminated. That kind of irked me a little bit. Also, though, it was really a conglomeration that Anna Jay got eliminated after eliminating Ali, as Ford eliminated her. Then Ty Conji basically took out Penelope Ford. Ty Conji was very close being part of the Final Four. Tonight was eliminating her. And then the Joker came out, and the Joker was Ruby Soho. Everybody called it. It was absolutely Ruby Soho, Destination AEW, coming out to that awesome music. And she came out to a rousing ovation, of course. And it came down to Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, and Ruby Soho. Eventually, Thunder Rosa was able to eliminate Nyla Rose, and we had a one-on-one. Talk about an incredible tease for a match to come, in my opinion. Everybody thought Thunder Rosa was the key prime candidate to win. Everyone thought, yes, the joke would be Ruby Soho, but it would be way too soon for her to win this thing and challenge the champion. In the end, these two, they duked it on the apron for a good 2 or 3 minutes. And finally, that riot type kick move finally eliminated the very resourceful, relentless Thunder Rosa as both points. Thunder Rosa and Ruby Riott were literally holding on for dear life at times by one hand on the ropes. But it was Thunder Rosa whose feet finally left the apron and her body hit the floor, shout out to Saliva, first, and Ruby Soho won the whole thing. Ruby Soho, who might I add is now officially All Elite, congratulations, won the Casino Battle Royal and will challenge Dr. Britt Baker DMD at a later day. And I will be seeing her live in Cincinnati for our first time ever on AEW Dynamite to address this matter. I will say, for what this was, it showcased the women, a lot of them pretty strongly. Again, I like the odd alliances from moments. Continuation of Diamante, Big Swole, Ty J versus Ali and Penelope Ford. I got wonder if Abaddon, though, is going to come after Ali. And again, Sky Blue, great opportunity. I wish I saw more of her in this, but AEW keeps using her forward too. It wouldn't surprise me if they signed her and Kara Hogan. Both are incredible athletes. I thought this was pretty fun, but again, nothing really spectacular to take away except Ruby Soho winning. The Neo Reality Entertainment rating system gave it 3.5. I will mutually agree on that. Congratulations to Ruby Soho. Casey, your thoughts?
All right. What I thought about this Casino Women's Battle Royal is I thought it was pretty good, and all these women did great, good, and wanting an AEW Women's title shot versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and the Joker, I know right away was going to be Ruby Soho. It was, of course, very obvious. And Thunder Rosa, when Thunder Rosa hit that room, the game changed, and the whole momentum of the match just changed. And Thunder, props for hanging in there, even though it wasn't her night. But congrats to Ruby Soho on a fantastic win in the Casino Women's Battle Royal match. And I totally like the new entrance theme of Ruby Soho with Ruby Soho. That shows you who she perfectly is. It shows you she's a fan of punk rock music. And Ruby Soho, I hope she does very well in AEW, and she will. And Ruby Soho versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD for the AEW Women's title is going to be a hell of a match. Because Ruby Soho, AEW's lucky to have Ruby Soho, because Ruby is an absolute hard-working woman that is a great wrestler at that. And they got a worker in Ruby Soho who could put up instant classic matches. And Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker for the AEW, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the AEW Women's World Title is going to be a great match because you got both women that have a never back down attitude, and they both have a lot of heart. And this is going to be Ruby Soho's first big test versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And will Ruby Soho pass that big test? Hell yeah, she will pass.
Oh, I think he froze, folks. His device might have died too. This is what happens when you go late on Monday night. There we go. You were glitching.
And Rosa time is coming down the road, and you will be champ soon enough. Your time is coming. Hang in there. Keep your head up. You have nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, great job. Go ahead.
and my stars for this match is 3.5 because it was pretty good. Not like an instant classic match, but it was good. A good casino woman's battle royal. They're all in this match. They were all warriors through and through.
There's one thing I gotta say though before we move on. Sky Blue, never turn your back on Abaddon. Ever.
Oh, exactly. I was
she paid for that.
Sue Sky Blue turned her back on Abaddon. I was like, Sky, you might want to turn around.
By the
There's
way,
somebody
Abaddon,
behind you.
I love Abaddon's new hair. That's a headbanger look.
Oh, Abaddon's hairstyle. Oh my God, she looked like a badass with that hair style that night.
She
looked a lot scarier.
Constantly evolves herself to be even more intimidating and more so a crowd favorite. I don't know what it is about Abaddon, but she intrigues me. And seriously, I think she is a future AEW Women's World Champion waiting to happen too. I still want to see her face Chris Statler in one-on-one.
I agree.
Now, it sounds like Allie just set herself up with the Living Dead girl, and I'm kind of worried. For reasons. Anyway, moving on from there, I'm going to give you this match because we go from a fun women's showcasing to a hell of a showcasing to show us, does he still got it? You're damn right he does. CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Sting was not there. He literally fist bumped the man, and he literally went to the back as he said he would. This match, Casey. Wow.
Damn. CM Punk versus Darby Allin with this match. CM Punk was impressive for his 7 years away from the wrestling ring. CM Punk looked phenomenal and in great shape, and Darby Allin was the perfect opponent for his return because Darby Allin helped him around the ring big time, and CM Punk and Darby Allin still put up one hell of a great match. And Punk never, ever lost a step. He did not lose a step that night. And he may be getting older in age, Punk, but he still has it. He still got it. It's like Punk never left the wrestling world. And CM Punk, he's officially back to where he belongs, and that is professional wrestling. And have we seen the last of CM Punk? Absolutely not. He's got plenty plenty of feuds and plenty of wrestlers that he is going to work with. Darby Allin wasn't the only one. Darby Allin was the perfect return opponent for CM Punk, and Darby Allin made CM Punk look good last night because Darby Allin is a phenomenal wrestler inside that very, very ring.
What's your star rating?
Well, our star rating of that match is 4.5.
All right. I think that's pretty mutually fair. The Neo Reality Entertainment star rating system gave that match, I'm sorry, small graphic. He gave it a perfect 5. And I must say, after 7 years, CM Punk, he definitely got renewed passion and drive. This was a really fun match. The fact these two literally, CM Punk sitting in that iconic position in the middle of the ring, Darby Allin just kneeling in the corner, taking in the atmosphere, listening to it all. We got that subtle this chant, that chant, this chant, that chant, before these two even locked up. And it really was a fill-out process that CM Punk once again adapted to what it's like to be inside the squared circle, those 4 ropes, taking a bump, dealing with somebody much younger than you, but also much more agile too, as it seemed relentless though to get that headlock off at one point. Darby Allin, of course, he gathered speed, threw his body into CM Punk on several occasions. Tope Suicida took CM Punk over the top, tried to lock in even the Last Supper at one point for a near fall. And at times when CM Punk had the man dead to rise, including Irish whipping the man side first into the steel ring pole between the top and middle rope. Damn. Talk about a whiplash effect that can break a man in half.
Shit.
Again, Darby Allin, half the times I wonder, are your bones really brittle? Are you really half human? And of course, CM Punk kept taking advantage on that. He really controlled the momentum in this match at several points. Then Darby Allin, of course, relentless as he is, fought back, only to eventually get GTS, but the momentum threw him out of the ring. Missed opportunity by CM Punk, but he knew he was in control. And at this point, he thought, Darby Allin, he's dead to rights. Then Darby Allin literally wails the man with back elbows nonstop, literally drops CM Punk with the takeover Stunned Up Millionaire and hits the coffin drop almost. But Punk rises up like the Undertaker, like nothing. Knew it was coming. As these men continue to fight, tooth and nail, near fall galores, the crowd was just eating it up. At one point, Darby Allin nearly getting booed too, because again, CM Punk's home turf, Chicago. It was CM Punk who finally locked in that final go to sleep and pinned the man dead center in the middle of the ring. And CM Punk gets his first win in AEW and in his first wrestling match after 7 years. Absolute classic between this generation's Punk type wrestler versus the original himself. Darby Allin is Darby Allin. Darby Allin is an established super mega wrestling athlete for ages to come, for everyone to be inspired by. And at the end of the day, Sting comes down, respect, they shake hands, CM Punk and Sting, and CM Punk raises Darby Allin up, shakes his hand, and realizes, yeah, this is fun again.
That was a great match for CM Punk's return away from 7 years from the very ring. And I thought that match was, instead of 4.5, like I said earlier, I'm going to change my star rating to that. And I'm going to put respect on that match and put 4.5 instant classic match, because Punk and Darby Allin had a great match and they told a great story. And it's Punk saying the moral of the story is to see if Punk still has it or he lost a step. And Punk passed that test, and he still showed everybody and the entire wrestling world that he still had it and he could still go in that very ring. So props to both of those guys. That was a great match last night.
as our buddy Eric Brown pointed out, at one point, literally, CM Punk was inspired by Bret the Hitman Hart. Literally, Darby Allin with the takeover and that iconic moment, gift for gift, frame for frame. Yeah, professional wrestling is #blessed. And again,
Exactly.
CM Punk, the crowd said it perfectly. You still got it. He never lost it. CM Punk needed to prove to himself, though. Can he do it? Mission accomplished. I can't wait for CM Punk's next match. And Darby Allin, Sting, and now Punk endorsement. He's made for life. Period. All right. Moving on from there, as we look at an upcoming Legacy Rising, we saw a Legacy tested one last time, as it was Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, taking on Chris Jericho again. But this time it was the final fight where if Jericho loses, he would never wrestle again. This right here, I knew was going to be a very different match versus the previous one. And again, a different feel versus all the previous matches too, as this felt truly personal for both these men to truly show what they're capable of and who truly owns AEW. Oh, look, he's back. Before I continue, folks, allow me to bring back Anthony. What happened, brother? That was funny.
Technical difficulties on the way back home. I had signal issues, so I'm back.
Hey, all good, man. Well, I would be disrespectful if I just said, okay, let's continue where we left off. I'm not like that. King, we got done talking about the Casino Battle Royale, and of course, CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Give me your thoughts on both of those matches and Ruby Soho.
Oh my God. I seen this coming. I seen this coming with Ruby Soho being the Joker. I mean, if you haven't watched the Ruby Soho vignettes that she posted on Twitter, and it said one way ticket, you know, she's going and flying, you know, oh, New York City was her latest stop. And then that last part, it said fill in the blank. And noticed how it was, if you count out the letters, if you count out the numbers, like the spaces right there, it was basically, if you spelled it, it was CHICAGO, Chicago. That was the latest tease right there. I was like, yep, she's got to be the Joker. But what confused me was when Sky Blue got entered into the Battle Royale when it was first announced, before Dark was on that special AEW Dark was on the air on that Saturday night. I was like, okay, something don't add up, because Sky Blue and then you have Julia Hart. I was like, that's 21 right there. Are they not going to announce the Joker? Are they not going to do the Joker this year? And I'm like, they always do the Joker. Yep. But then if you watch the AEW Dark, a special one like us three did, you would notice that Julia Hart got taken out by Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill.
Yep.
And there's your answer of why Sky Blue got answered. There was the answer right there in living color. Oh, did I say living color? Shout out to them. It's called
brilliant. Let's continue.
But yeah, but I digress. All I gotta say is that I can't do the play-by-play because I that's justice on its own. But Tony Khan, if you surprisingly watch, give us fans what we want. We need a Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa 1v1. Yes. I don't care where you do it on AEW. I don't care where you do it. Dynamite, Rampage, pay-per-view. I don't care. It needs to happen because these are two of your women that's going to be, dare I say, because the women's division's roster is just so stacked. But I'm going to make a bold proclamation. These are two of your future women top barriers, standard barriers, along with Dr. Britt Baker in your women's division. Ruby Soho, I did not expect her to win in her first attempt in that Casino Battle Royale. No one did.
Me neither.
You had the same picks that Saturday night. We said Thunder Rosa was going to win this, and then all of a sudden,
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, Ruby was like, "Oh, Ruby, huh? What? Ruby winning this?" I was like,
"Yeah,
oh.
Yeah."
And shortly afterwards, we got the graphic made official. She is all elite.
It's like I was just like, "Wow!" Like,
oh, I was stunned, bro.
Yeah, me
Ruby
too.
won.
I thought it would be somebody like Ty Khan, Deanna Jay, someone with history that hasn't faced Britt Baker yet, but a young up-and-comer too. Not a veteran like Ruby Soho. I wasn't disappointed, but I was shocked. And King, I agree with you 110%. Thunder Rosa, Ruby Soho needs to happen one-on-one because that was the best part of that Casino Battle Royale. And again, the only other thing I have is Ali just set up herself a match with Abaddon. Yeesh.
That would be Ruby Soho versus Thunder Rosa. It needs to happen. I agree, King. Dynamite, Rampage, or a pay-per-view. I don't give a shit where it takes place. I don't give a shit if it takes place in the damn parking lot. I don't care.
Whoa! Let's not get crazy. I know she likes punk rock, but we don't need to get hardcore right now. Okay.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, no shit. We don't need to get hardcore. But let me tell you. Ruby Soho versus Thunder Rosa needs that. If they go one-on-one, that will be a great match up right there.
That's a main event.
Both of these women, women between Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho are both hard-working women, and they're both great workers in that very ring.
Damn right.
And Tony Khan, he have Ruby Soho because Soho will thrive in AEW. Will Ruby Soho be an AEW Women's Champ down the line? Of course she will. Will Thunder Rosa be an AEW Women's Champ down the line? Hell yeah, she will.
I think so.
I mean,
I think so.
Thunder and Ruby will steal the show whatever night, whatever show it comes on.
There you go. And the other match we discussed, King, it was CM Punk versus Darby Allin. I gotta know, did you ever find yourself doubting if CM Punk still had it before that match? And if so, what was your resolution afterwards? Give me your thoughts towards that match. It was a dream match, and I think it truly delivered.
Like I said on Saturday night, I made that comparison. It's like Jordan returning back to the NBA. It was like Jordan returning back to the sport that he became once the greatest of all time and gave the Bulls a second three-peat, saying, can Michael still go? Can Michael still be one of the greatest of all time? Is Michael the same MJ that was once before led the Chicago Bulls to the first three-peat? I never doubted this man one bit as a kid watching Michael growing up. And I never doubted Punk whenever he came back. If Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful team reported that he was training with Stephen Amell on their on their TV series called Heels on Stars, go watch it. It is a very good show. Go watch it. That means that basically, and when Stephen Amell first said the man has never lost his step, I agreed. And when we saw, whenever he came up down that ramp and he finally did it, it's collaborating time. That got me hyped alone. I was like, and then I saw the gear. I was like, Punk going tights. Kind of resembles his Ring of Honor gear a little bit, but tights.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, this is going to be a great psychological match. And that it was, because that is Punk's style. He is a technician in that ring. He's like, and I can't believe I'm saying this because, I think in my opinion, it's true. He is basically the Bret Hart 2.0, if you look at it that way, because of the fact that when you look at Punk and you look at Bret, you look at their styles in that ring, and it's basically mirroring each other pretty much.
Yep.
It's basically mirroring each other at this rate. So it's basically when you have they're both technicians in that ring. And when I saw Punk in that ring, I was like, yep, he can still go. He can still go in that ring. And what we got between Punk and Darby was basically a dream match of its own. And if I were to give that match rating, I forgot I don't know. Did y'all do the match rating for the casino, women's casino battle royale? Did y'all do that match rating?
I did three. Yes. I was respectable, but it wasn't like anything super special except for Soho winning.
Yep. I agree. 3.5 on the women.
Yeah, same with 3.5 as me as well.
And considering they were coming out Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks, they were in a rough spot.
Exactly.
But
Right.
anyway, back to Punk and Darby Allin. I gave it 5. Eric gave it 5, and Casey gave it 4.5.
I give it a 5. I give it a 5 because this was the dream match that was well worth it. I give it a 5.
Again, it was this match alone right here. I feel like people said this is worth the mission itself. You figure out the matches that were built for All Out and the way they were built. This was one of the ones that was built later just on pure reference. You didn't even think this was going to happen. All right. And then you got in, you're like, holy hell. Enough said. And of course, the respect shown among all three men. Darby is truly the sky's the limit for the guy. He's made for life. Period. He's been endorsed by CM Punk and Sting.
Yeah. Darby Allin's definitely a made man for AEW.
Speaking of made man, King, we were just starting to talk about the final fights between MJF and Jericho, where MJF did no, he didn't. Where Jericho finally conquered the one demon he has yet to conquer since being part of AEW, and that's Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Jericho's career continues in AEW. And in another match, you point out the word psychological warfare. That was done here too. Both men literally getting each other's minds and wrecking each other's bodies too. At one point, MJF trying to go for that big power move. Couldn't do it because his back was worn out after, of all things I ever thought I would never see MJF do. Acai moonsault attack? What? Of course, crashed and burned on that, landed on his feet and runs into a powerbomb on the apron. That was the turning point for the whole match. Eventually, MJF, though, gets the better. Jericho using Floyd the baseball bat goes for Judas effect. Aubrey out of position, looking at the shoulders only, not the foot on the rope. We thought this was it. Not like this. I thought Aubrey was going to become the most hated person in AEW. She still probably gets some house, but I digress. And Paul Turner, apparently because how big this match was, because this is a rare thing you see in wrestling and you wonder, why does this happen? When should this type of thing happen? Is it right for this type of thing to happen in this scenario? I think it was. Paul Turner showed Aubrey, well, there was no TV mod, but convinced her. The foot was on the rope for the 3 count. Match was restarted as MJF tried to go for the Fujiwara. Jericho countered into the Lion Tamer, high angle Lion Tamer, and for the first time ever in his AEW career, MJF tapped out. And Jericho won. This was a very interesting match, to say the least, considering the story. But as far as the match itself, I wouldn't say I was blown away. It was more so the emotional investment versus the actual physical in-ring capability of both these men. But I thought this was still a pretty damn good match, to say the least. And the Neo Reality Entertainment System ranked this match 4.5. Again, you look at it for story, I get that. I look at it for the wrestling, maybe not so much. Because of the story and the fact that I hope finally MJF and Jericho are done with each other. Please, jeez. I think 4.5 is fair too, so I give it that. So, King, your thoughts on the final fight between Jericho and MJF, and just the setup itself with that troll introduction by MJF too.
Yes, that troll production, he got me. I'll be the first one to admit in this family. He got me with the countdown because I was like, oh my God.
Old school Jericho. I was like,
it's Jericho. Is Jericho by ultimate callback to the WWF days, the WWE days of the
Countdown to
countdown
Millennium when he first showed up.
against, and it was interrupted. He interrupted The Rock that night. But and then all of a sudden the lights went out, and then MJF's music played. I was like, MJF chose Ultimate Troll tonight.
Asshole. I was like, you asshole.
And then
Yeah,
all of
me too.
a sudden, I'm hearing Fozzy. I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to be the one majority. I'm probably going to be in the minority when it comes to this conversation. But I love Fozzy. Been a supporter of Jericho's band since when he first brought it mainstream. Still love Judas. Still love their new song that came out with Sane. But a big pitch, but a swing and a miss with the live entrance, because it had the crowd in Chicago all confused, and it exposed probably 50% of that crowd in Chicago of not knowing the lyrics to Judas. And that kind of felt like downright basically disrespect, because it's like, y'all just know the chorus. That means y'all better, if y'all a big fan of the song, study your lyrics before you go to the show. Exactly. Especially if they study your lyrics. But that entrance was a downright fail. You should have just had Jericho come out to it, without the live performance. Yeah. But this whole match was basically like a movie. This whole match was just basically you're watching a movie pretty much, because it had your intro, it had your climax, and then it had your ending. And basically, like you said, Noah, I really thought that Aubrey was about to become the most hated ref in AEW history. And I'm glad Paul Turner came to the save and was like, yeah, Jericho's foot was on the rope. Because even I was up on my feet and I was like, Aubrey, did you see Jericho's foot on the rope? But she didn't, because it was from her point of view. It was on her referee point to where she got the count. But luckily, like I said, Paul Turner caught that. But like you said, I wasn't focused on this as much as pro wrestling. This was basically storytelling at its finest, because basically we've been through the saga. We've been through this journey with MJF and Jericho since 2019, since their first confrontation in AEW, and that was on Dynamite. So basically, we've been through this journey. We've been through this saga with them. And it was eaten, and I'm going to say that what I said on Saturday. The one thing that Jericho has not done was beat MJF. And it was eaten at him like cancer, pretty much. It was eaten at him like cancer. If he could not get it done, he was done with AEW as a pro wrestler throughout the remainder of his contract and became a full-time commentator. And I was not ready for that, because I feel like Jericho has a little bit more to give in the ring with some of the few talent. And plus, I mean, I want to see Jericho in Black. I want to see Jericho and Andrade. I want to see Jericho and Cole. I want to see Jericho and Punk run it back one more time. I mean, there's still much more matches out there for Jericho when it comes to those big names alone. That's why I felt like I wasn't ready for him to be done with in the ring just yet. But with Jericho getting the win here, I hope it ends the MJF and Jericho debacle. But when it comes to faction warfare, the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, we're still far from over. We're still far from over.
And Wardlow and Hager literally beating the crap out of each other at one point, allowing MJF to use Flair and the Jewish defect.
And it's like, and now that we got this match done and over with, hopefully, where do we go from here with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle? Where do we go from? Do they still battle? I mean, of course, Hager and Wardlow still got some scores to settle.
Yeah.
But as far as, I mean, you still got Shawn Spears, but you still got the remainder of the Inner Circle of Sammy Guevara and Hager and Santana and Ortiz. How would you take a big, plus with FTR, they're going to take a long break. Cash is going to take a long break from that freaky injury that he sustained. Jesus.
Golly. Good Lord.
Like, that's pro wrestling for you folks. That's pro wrestling for you folks. with FTR taking a break, a long break at that, does Dash go it alone as a member of the Pinnacle, but also a member of FTR? Does he go it alone? Or does he take that long break with Cash? That's where, we in a bit of a problem here if they want to continue this Inner Circle and Pinnacle feud.
I do see what you mean, but I almost think like Santana Ortiz kind of like hit the nail on the head there with the match they won over FTR. That was like pay-per-view level. I almost think they're done. Sammy Guevara, of course, being Sean Spears, they both beat the hell out of each other, took each other beyond their finishing limits too. Back in Houston, I almost think they're done too. Now that Jericho has conquered MJF, it does kind of feel like the only thing left is Hager and Wardlow to set up things too. I almost feel like the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle feud is about to take a hibernation after the big hosses go after each other. It almost feels like right now the momentum is back in favor of the Inner Circle. Where it goes from here, I think it's too soon to say. But I do get your point as far as the psychology and the storytelling in this match. It did feel like I was watching a movie. Again, both these men, they were literally going after each other's moves. MJF used the code breaker for Pete's sake. Nearly got the victory off Jericho too. So again, if this was a movie, I hope this was the final act. And I'm glad we had that epilogue that was corrected where MJF nearly ended Jericho, but failed to. And the fact that MJF tapped out, that's his first ever submission loss. Keyword, first ever submission loss in AEW. I don't think you can counter that. I think he would have to say that somehow he is still better than Jericho and move on. I honestly don't know where Jericho and MJF go from here, but the rest of the Pinnacle and Inner Circle feud, I feel like it's over, except for Hager and Wardlow. And with the Jericho Cruise coming up, I feel like we are going to get a hibernation on this too. It's a weird circumstance, but all I can say is congratulations to Chris Jericho. I think it was the right result. The right man won too.
Yeah, match star rated. I give it a 5 because of the storytelling. I give it a 5.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Casey, you gave it the same thing, didn't you?
I'm with King here. I give it a 5.
Yeah, and again, bravo. It shows that professional wrestling can deliver a strong narrative, and necessarily doesn't have to be about smash mouth, strong style, flippy dip, absolute madness. You can slow the mood and still draw the crowd in too. That's what MJF and Jericho are capable of. There's a reason why MJF doesn't wrestle all the time. And Jericho always controls the narrative in his matches too. Win or lose. Great stuff.
That's right. And here's one thing I got to say. One thing I got to say from Chris Jericho's entrance with the dude playing the guitar.
That was his actual guitarist, by the way.
That was that
Ozzy.
Actual guitarist.
Yeah.
Judas, yeah. But the Judas thing, that was the live entrance performance was a turn off because that had the crowd right there in Chicago thinking, what the hell is going on?
They were trying to figure out how to bring the sync.
They were so lost. They were lost at the guy playing the guitar. And when you get down to it, they could have done without the live entrance from the guy playing the guitar. I'll tell you one thing. What was a better live entrance was the choir singing Chris Jericho's Judas. Judas. The choir singing Chris Jericho's Judas.
Right.
At least you could have got. At least you could have grabbed a local choir from Chicago and put them out on the stage and singing Judas.
Right.
And then Chris Jericho makes one epic entrance to Judas. And then, therefore, the crowd is singing right along with the choir that sings Judas.
Right.
And I thought the match between Chris Jericho and MJF was a great match, and it told a great story. And soon as Chris Jericho had his foot on the rope, I was like, Aubrey, he had his foot on the damn rope. Can't you see?
We have to see. She was looking at the shoulders only. She was in position of the shoulders.
Yes.
Did not see it.
Yep. And you know what, though? another ref. Props to him for seeing it, because I thought we were going to see the end of Chris Jericho. But with Chris Jericho submitting MJF and making MJF tap out with the walls of Jericho, that is MJF's first submission loss in AEW. And the fallout from that match I can see is, if MJF appears on Dynamite, the crowd in Cincinnati, when MJF talks, is going to be chanting, "You tapped out. You tapped out.
I will be a part of that.
You tapped out.
I'll let you know.
Tapped out. You tapped out." And next thing you know, MJF's going to holler, "Shut up. Shut up."
Yeah. Because MJF,
if the crowd chants, "You tapped out. You tapped out," expect MJF to yell, "Shut up," when the crowd does that.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Jericho was trying to set a mood here, a somber mood. But the fact of the matter is, he walks out of the tunnel nice and slow. The music on point with the way he was coming in, but the audience trying to adapt to it is where it falls flat. If this had a better way to correlate to the audience as far as what part of Drew's being played, well, the people just knew the dang song and knew the damn lyrics, it probably would have come off better on television. I completely agree with you on that point. The choir would have done much better, and the choir was again what Jericho used back in Chicago at the freaking former arena, it was called, literally when he came in as champion. I think the crowd would have actually worked better here too. But again, it's these little things, and it is what it is. At least the end result was the right result, in my opinion. And a definitive end, hopefully, too. Because again, like you said, MJF, he tapped out. Simple as that. All right. So, well, I think now we can take a moment to just rest our minds for a little bit and talk about the way that AEW knows when to bring down things a little bit. Give the crowd
God.
Casey's reaction. Well, Casey. Well, hold on. Let me get this. Hold on. Let me get it right. My voice is going. Well, stop that. Anyway, Paul White's AEW in-ring debut against QT Marshall with the Factory. Yeah. No KO, except for Camarado. Choke slam, and it was over. I think pretty much this match was simply a buffer. It literally summed up the point that Tony Schiavone wanted to see QT's ass kicked, and it was by one of his friends, Paul White. It was Paul White's in-ring AEW debut, and I thought he looked pretty good too. He pulled off some power moves with the spear. He chopped the hell out of QT's chest, which everybody got fun galore out of. And then he basically chokeslammed the man after QT tried to literally come up the top rope and get the better of him. Even trying to do a diamond cutter early on. QT was way out of his element here. Again, the only way I saw QT winning is if Anthony Ogogo showed up and knocked out Paul White. It didn't happen. Paul White won, but this match was pretty much filler. It could have literally been a dark exhibition. 2 stars. Paul White, congratulations. QT Marshall, you're still a loser. But hey, at least you look good in a Soprano shirt. Maybe you can go for acting. Does anyone else have anything to say regarding this match and their star rating?
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Paul
Casey,
White.
go ahead.
This Paul White QT Marshall match. This is the one match I could at least care a less about. This Paul White, he looked good for his age, and he had limited move sets, and I knew Paul White was going to win this one, and QT Marshall had no chance in hell of winning this match versus Paul White. Yeah. And the only way QT Marshall was going to win is if Anthony Ogogo or somebody got involved, or maybe the Gun Club got involved. If Billy Gunn hit Paul White with a chair again while the ref's back was turned, and Billy Gunn and the Gun Club screwed Paul White out of a win versus QT Marshall, and then that sets up a feud with Paul White Gun Club. But thank God none of those scenarios happened at all. I mean, this one match, I could care less about. I give it 2.5. That's all.
I think should be more generous. Again, Paul White's first match. Yeah, limited movement. I figured just set up his next feud, and hey, he got the one. So everybody enjoyed QT getting the crap chopped out of him as we got the classic Big Show chops that rained out of the Now Arena. So again, I thought this was fun. Sometimes wrestling can just be simply fun.
You sound like JR there. You just called him Big Show.
Botch. I'm sorry.
Botch.
Damn it. Well, it happens. It happens. Again, JR is
honest mistake. Honest mistake.
It happens. Honest mistake. All right. And I guarantee you, it won't be the last time either he or I say that name. Okay, King, any thoughts you have on Paul White's in-ring debut and QT getting squashed too?
Let's see. Quality television, Marshall. Shout out to my bros for Joseph Conlon and Indigo and Gamers Goon for giving me that. Well, not really Gamers Goon, because Gamers Goon hates quality television, Marshall. But shout out to Joseph for giving me that quality television, Marshall. Right. Is when it comes to QT, his name is Quality Television Marshall. Put that out.
I don't think that's what it stands for, but I see why you say that. Continue. That's funny.
But Paul White's in-ring debut, the man hasn't lost a step. I mean, yeah, it was a squash, but the man has not missed a step in that ring. It was like he felt more comfortable being in an AEW ring than in the, that other company's ring, because of the fact
that I kind of see what you're saying there.
Because of the fact that he felt more what he used to do back in the Attitude Era with that Paul White, that version of Paul White that could do anything. And it felt like he kind of went back to that a little bit, but not much. Mm-hmm. But all I gotta say is this: it was rated 2 at best. And welcome back to the ring, Paul White, and Quality Television, Marshall. You still quality television because you still drew the 1.1 viewership in your little segments, but you're still a loser. You still win the ring.
The 1.1. Are we talking about 1.1 fans or 1.1 million? All right. Maybe a little more specific.
No, I'm that serious because on WrestleNomics in his little segment, the crowd will still watching at 1.1 million. So that's why I said quality television. Marshall draws, but in the ring, he's still a loser.
Ouch to the quality wrestler. QT Marshall.
Ow.
Okay.
You just buried quality television QT Marshall with that one line. I consider that a burial status.
Pipe bomb. That's a pipe bomb. That's what that was. Damn.
That was a damn pipe bomb.
Oh,
pipe bomb.
Man. I almost feel bad for the guy. Well, almost. All right. Moving on from there. I almost forgot. At one point, Dan Lambert lambasting the fans, shades of ECW one night stand. This loudmouth asshole. I'm just waiting for Lance Archer to come up there and shut him the hell up. But no, it didn't happen. But man, does this guy know how to rile up a freaking crowd? I swear. He and Lance Archer on a collision course with the Men of the Year. They were in his little thing.
I'm surprised nobody threw any shit at Dan Lambert, because back in the old ECW days, you got shit thrown at you. Just and all that.
Chicago, I feel like in 2021, the pro wrestling universe, I feel is a bit more mature. Just saying. Oh,
yeah,
by the way.
Right.
Wow. Okay, maybe I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah. Let me tell you this story. Let me tell you all this story.
Go ahead.
There was a wrestling event. I forget where, but I think it was back in the 1990s. I wasn't born yet. It was Rowdy Roddy Piper, right? And Rowdy Roddy Piper, he was a villain so bad, he buried the crowd in Mexico City. And next thing you know, the crowd were throwing chairs at him in the very ring. and the crowd, they literally fought. It was a damn riot right in there. And Viper had to get the hell out of there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the hell out of that city.
Get the hell out.
Damn.
Yep. And you know what? Dan Lambert, I mean, props to him. But the guy's got iron guts, though. Just burying the crowd. I mean,
he's a passionate professional wrestling fan of his own design.
Yeah.
Damn.
Here's what I like to see. I mean, in a yelling match between Dan Lambert and Don the Invisible Hand Callis.
Oh, hell
Who would win a yelling match on the debate stage? And my candidates on the debate stage are Luther, Don Callis, and Dan Lambert, and Vicky Guerrero. Who is the best yeller in AEW? Who's the best yeller in AEW? And if there's a championship, championship that should be made, it's the Screaming Championship.
I don't think they would even do. I don't think
the best Screaming Champion is.
Look, I don't think they would even do that on BTE. Otherwise, Malachi Black's author of his fame would win that. Again, he literally sounds like he's killing himself while singing. All right, and that song's all about pain. But anyway, enough screaming. All right. Freaking Lufer. All right. Sorry, headphone users. We got off topic. Let's get back on topic. We only got. Good God Almighty.
We all lost our minds. Our minds.
What else is new? We're ATW. But let's go ahead and talk about the main event of the show, where people are like, why the hell is this main eventing? I'll tell you why. Because it's Kenny, by God, Omega. Thank you. Defending the AEW Heavyweight Championship with Don Callis in his corner against Christian Cage. I don't give a damn what people said. These two delivered. Now, again, this is about the elite. This is about the leader of the elite. This is about the cleaner, the best bout machine. I don't need to speak. King, talk about this match and your star rating and what happened afterwards, too, in AEW.
Oh, man. See me bouncing up and down right though. So see me bouncing up and down because
yes, I do. I
said Saturday that this was the weakest title match in AEW's history.
And now?
I did say, and now, Christian, you proved me wrong again. Goodness gracious. Think about it. This is a guy who, he did have his match with Kenny Omega on the first episode of Rampage. And yes, that one was a classic to close out Rampage. And then here they are doing it again. Then the main event, and everybody said, well, why is Christian and Kenny main eventing all out? For one, it's going to be a classic match. And two, something big is about to happen when you have these two fighting out in the main event, and something big was about to happen after the match. I can't really this one justice because of the fact that these two have good chemistry in the ring. It's basically smooth like butter as it can be with these two in the ring because of the fact that you have Kenny Omega, the best bout machine, the man who put up one of the best matches in professional wrestling history with one of his greatest rivals, who I expect to see in AEW sometime soon in the form of the Rainmaker. But that I digress. These two put up a fantastic, phenomenal main event, and Kenny and Christian showed you why that these two can still go, and you can basically give the benefit of the doubt of that rematch. especially when he hit the freaking one-winged angel on top of the second top rope. Oh my God. I was like, whew, okay, this gotta be done. This has gotta be done. And then Christian trying to go multiple, and then the table was set up, and Kenny with that table, double foot stomp onto the table with Christian on it. I was like, holy crap.
Haven't seen that since Okada. Haven't seen that since Okada. And Tomoyoshi.
It was like a call. It was like a callback to that rivalry of Omega and Okada. Oh my God, good rivalry, but I digress. Yeah. And then Kenny ended it again with a one-winged angel, and Christian gave Kenny once again, gave him a run for his money, ran him to the limits in that match. And then when Kenny said, nobody can beat me if they was alive in another company, alive or they're dead. Lights went out. We waited a few seconds, and then here comes the boom played, and then the Titantron popped up, as you can see in this screen right here. Mr. Bay, WWE. Whoa. How could you let go one of your top stars of the man who became one of the cornerstones of NXT's history, leading a group, fulfilling a prophecy in the Undisputed Era, and you let the man go because of third-party affiliate? Really? That's a stupid way of going about it. And now you lost him, and that WWE's lost, AEW's gained. What Adam Cole is about to do is about to say, pun intended, shock the system, but up it into another level to where I haven't seen him go to that level since his Ring of Honor and New Japan days. Ooh. That's where I feel like with this Adam Cole rebirth of professional wrestling, because you've seen the man's happiness. You can look at it and exaggerate and feel his body language, and you can absolutely tell that he feels right at home. He feels right at home. And then after the Adam Cole promo, that he said that nobody can stop the Elite. We're the most untouchable faction in professional wrestling history. And then you hear the Flight of the Valkyries, and you hear the dun 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 dun. Cassidy Haynes of BodySlam.net reported on this. He said that expect Bryan Danielson to appear in Chicago. I took it with a grain of salt because I never knew the guy as a reporter. I don't know his track record, and y'all know me when it comes to these rumors, and I bring it into the ATW group chat on Twitter.
Yes.
I was very skeptical of this. But whenever I first heard that intro, I was like, I can't question this man's report, his track record anymore. I can't. And plus, CM Punk. Remember, if you looked at his vans over the past few weeks, it said AC, BD, and then BW. We already know AC. We already know BD. But the question is BW soon to be all elite? And now, and from what I saw on Twitter, I saw an Adam Cole and a Bryan Danielson altercation backstage. And it gave me SmackDown November 2019, in which I still consider it to be the greatest SmackDown episode of this modern era of wrestling. Just take what Triple H does in NXT back then and then implement on the main roster. It works every time, but now the NXT's local was dead. But if we get Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson in AEW, I expect it to top their previous encounter on SmackDown. Now that they don't have to deal with the WWE style of wrestling, and you let these two men off the leash, off the chain, I expect it to be an instant classic. No pun intended, Christian. No pun intended. But now that's what brings me to what I said earlier to start off the video. Tony Khan knows what we fans want. He listens to the fans. He listens to us. This is a promoter who cares about us fans, who knows what we want, and he knows what we want. He has pulled off, basically, let me pull it up on my phone. I don't know if it'll fit through my screen, but hopefully it does.
I think I got a picture that Eric Brown put up regarding everybody that's coming to AEW.
It can only fit about that much, but he has pulled off these acquisitions right here. Probably Ruby not pictured or anything like that, but oh my goodness. Tony Khan is the wrestling promoter of 2021, and who's Vince McMahon again? There it is. There's a picture I was looking for. You're welcome. He's basically got, like, he knows what a promoter should do, and basically he knows what he's doing with that company. All I gotta say to Tony Khan is this: thank you, Tony. Thank you for listening to us fans. Thank you for giving us feedback. And you, sir, continue to give us more, because we are loving this right now. We're about to basically experience the fallout from All Out on Wednesday, and I cannot wait to see what's in store. Thank you, Tony Khan. Thank you so much for listening to us fans, and we appreciate you for that.
Hell of a testimony, King. But I gotta ask you, what do you give Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega that at first you had doubts for? What's your star rating?
It's a close 5, but I give it a 4.75.
All right. The Neo Reality Entertainment Star Rating System gave it a solid 5 stars. I think you gave the match pretty damn good justice. And literally, again, Christian Cage, he hit the kill switch, nearly pinned the man. He hit him with not one, but 2 spears, one to the back, one to the front, went for the Splog Splash, landed on knees. Omega unleashed B triggers and Snapdragons galore. But like you said, whipped on Chaos Distraction and Carl Anderson trying to get involved too, and almost had a repeat of the first ever Rampage that screwed Kenny Omega again too. It did not happen here, as again, this time he finally hit it, but he made sure it was emphatic. Off the second rope, avalanche, one wing angel, put away the man that was out to outwork everyone for the 3 count.
Right.
Kenny Omega retained. Sure. Again, when it comes to Kenny Omega, you never should expect anything less than the classic, especially with him defending a freaking championship. And this is why AEW put forth their championship in the main event. And of course, like you said, the aftermatch was further discussed too, because I got cliff notes regarding everything Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole, baby, said, as well as Ruby Soho, regarding their future, why they chose AEW, and what it felt like coming out there too. And for those that watch BTE, you certainly got an idea how Adam Cole felt about this too, and who confronted him backstage. Yeah. That being said, I give it a 5 as well. Let's go ahead and get the Preacher Man's brief, simple takeaway from that main event, the post-match too, before we almost get ready to conclude. Casey, your thoughts on Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega, your star rating for it, and the aftermath afterwards.
All right.
All right.
Here's how it's going. Here's how it's going. I'm gonna break it down right now.
Oh boy.
Kenny by God Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW World Title was a fantastic main event. And Kenny Omega, Christian Cage gave Kenny Omega a hell of a match that night. And Kenny Omega once again proved that why he is the best bout machine in all of professional wrestling by retaining the AEW World Title. And that match right there with Christian Cage and Kenny Omega showed when he hit the one-winged angel from the top rope, from the second rope on Christian Cage. That showed you right there that Kenny Omega was basically saying with that statement of an avalanche one-winged angel, you may have taken the Impact World title from me at 8 Rampage, but you are not taking the AEW World title from me. I will not allow it. And Kenny Omega, and as soon as Kenny Omega hit the one-winged angel, avalanche one-winged angel, I thought to myself, oh, no way in hell. No way in hell Christian Cage kicks out of it. Because I literally like stood up on my 2 feet and my face and my jaw were like ready to drop if Christian Cage kicked out of the avalanche one-winged angel. And as soon as Christian didn't, I was like, oh, awesome. Impressive win by Kenny Omega. And that match right there, I mean, it was too early for Kenny Omega to lose the AEW World title to Christian Cage. Because Christian Cage is not going to be the guy to take the AEW World title off of Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Save that for Adam Hangman Page. Adam Hangman Page is the right guy to dethrone Kenny Omega for the AEW World title. And by the way, congrats to Adam Hangman Page on the birth of his kid, birth of his baby with his wife. And
yes, indeed.
Adam Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega. It's going to be a perfect match, and that person will be perfect. Adam Page will be the perfect guy for Kenny Omega to drop the AEW World title to. It's too early for Kenny Omega to drop it now. Christian Cage wasn't the answer for it. Adam Page is the answer to defeat Kenny Omega for the AEW World title. And aftermath, when the Elite were in the ring, and they were saying, and Kenny Omega saying, not a man alive can beat me. Not anybody dead or walking the face of this earth can defeat me. And when those lights cut out, right? I thought, whoa, what is this? What is this? Next thing you know, when I heard, it's all about the boom, and Adam Cole appeared on that entrance stage, baby, I thought to myself,
game over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tony Khan has struck gold again when Adam Cole got signed to AEW. And let me tell you something. Thank God Adam Cole's with AEW, because WWE is where they fucked up, right? By not allowing Adam Cole to keep his Twitch channel. And I also heard a report of them offering him to be a damn manager. What? Who in the hell wants Adam Cole to be a damn manager with the WWE? Adam Cole is too much of a great wrestler in the ring to be a damn manager. WWE, you fucked up big time in that. And I'm sorry. Adam Cole is a professional wrestler at that. He is not no damn manager for anybody, and he won't be, because Adam Cole is a professional wrestler, and Adam Cole will thrive in AEW. And at the end of the day, I respect Adam Cole for what he did 100%, because Adam Cole seen right through the bullshit that WWE was going to do with him, and he wasn't falling for the bullshit. Adam Cole made the right call and signed with AEW, and you could tell it. You could tell on his face that Adam Cole felt home, felt he was at home with AEW, and that is how happy he looked, because he knew right there that AEW was the company for him, because Adam Cole will thrive in AEW, and that is great to see. And with the next thing, Adam Cole and the Elite were all talking shit in the ring, and then a certain familiar faces entrance theme played. And next thing, out comes Bryan Danielson. And then after that, my jaw completely dropped. And I'm like, how does that feel, Vince? Because you tried to thought you could one up Tony on your little Brock Lesnar return thing, the summer scam. Lesnar ain't got shit on AEW. Lesnar cannot save your ass from AEW, because AEW is here to stay. And they are number one right now in the top of the wrestling world. Tony Khan has officially became the new king and new number one promoter of professional wrestling, because right now AEW is a machine that you cannot kill, that you cannot stop, that you cannot destroy. Because AEW, Tony Khan, let me tell you this, he is a smart son of a bitch. Because Tony Khan knows right there what we want as fans of professional wrestling. And Tony Khan is a good guy, and he listens to us. Tony Khan gives a shit not only about his wrestlers, but for his fans. And the reason why Tony Khan listens to us as fans is he don't want to lose anybody that watches AEW. He wants to keep all of us on board. And I like how Tony Khan operates, because he runs AEW like a business. Vince McMahon looks at the professional wrestling world like a joke now. He looks at it as a joke, and he doesn't take it serious. And professional wrestling is what you're going to get with AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and MLW. Because you ain't going to see it in NWA as well. And you ain't going to see it with whatever the sewer company's called, world's worst entertainment, because you are not going to see it with the sports entertainment bullshit, because these wrestlers that you see with WWE are not sports entertainers. They are professional fucking wrestlers. And all they want is to be respected. They want to be respected. Why do you think they're heading to AEW? Because they want to be respected again. Because they ain't being respected with WWE. I can tell you that much. And people that are with WWE, when they get released down the line, if they get released, the perfect fit for some of them, for the likes of Pete Dunne, since he's a free agent, is New Japan Pro Wrestling, because Pete Dunne's style is great for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if Walter becomes a free agent, the Ring General becomes a free agent, Walter would be a fantastic addition for New Japan Pro Wrestling at that. And here's what I want to see. I want to see Walter versus Minoru Suzuki go at at it at Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom.
Okay, bro, you're crazy.
And
Hey,
give me that match now. Give me that match now.
Casey's gone
Give
to
it
another
me
world.
immediately. Because
Casey
that
has
would be an instant classic match, Indy making.
He's on a roll. Let's go, let him go.
And when you get down to it, though, I mean, people like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai.
I knew he was going to drop that name.
They would all thrive with AEW because Candice LeRae is a natural born leader. And congratulations to her and Johnny Gargano for their soon to be arrival son or daughter.
Right.
And Candice LeRae is a natural born leader for the AEW women's division. And she'd be a great locker room asset for the AEW women's division. Because Candice LeRae is a leader in the professional wrestling world. And Johnny Gargano would have instant classic matches with the talent in AEW that are there now. And same with Tommaso Ciampa as well. And Dakota Kai would thrive in AEW as well.
We're way off top.
Because
preaching a sermon.
They are going to thrive in AEW. And that is my ending tonight right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Casey's sermon on professional wrestling and how it's done. Amen. Can the chat say amen?
Sermon on the mount, or in this case, the sermon from the living room. A preacher man's ode to professional wrestling. Well done, Casey. All right. Well, the bottom line is this: as we finally got through AW All Out, I stand by it as a professional wrestling fan, 29 years old, born February 10th, 1992. His first wrestling match he could correlate to actually understanding and falling in love with from his mother showing him being Bret the Him and Hart versus the British Bulldog. I have to say that AEW All Out was literally, for me, the greatest professional wrestling pay-per-view I have ever seen in all time. It's as simple as that.
October 20th, 1997, the 3-year-old Anthony watching In Your House between Undertaker and Mankind. And that's how I got introduced to this world of wrestling. Now, at the age of 26, about to turn 27 next month. My goodness. Yep, I can agree with you. And I will stand by saying that this pay-per-view was also meant for me. And that I'm still feeling a wrestling hangover of this, because I have been having the biggest smile on my face ever since last night. And AEW proved why, that when you watch their product, it brings a smile to your face.
Simple.
And one thing I gotta say about this AEW pay-per-view
Go for it.
is August 5th, 1996. I watched professional wrestling in 2000 at the start of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. And I seen Austin and The Rock 3 times at WrestleMania go right at it. And I even watched Shawn Michaels return to the ring in 2002 versus Triple H at SummerSlam at that time. And what got me into professional wrestling was the Triple H Shawn Michaels feud alone in professional wrestling, because their feud was beyond epic in the world of professional wrestling. And those two guys literally beat the hell out of each other in 3 stages of hell match at Armageddon 2002, where both of them were bloodied as hell. And also seen the triple threat at WrestleMania 20, and also watched before I get there, I also watched Undertaker and Kane build up to their match at WrestleMania 20. And the build up to Undertaker's return as the dead man at WrestleMania 20 was beyond epic of an entrance. And Paul Bearer, God rest his soul, and Paul Bearer got saying, "Oh yes," and I remember that like yesterday as a kid in 2004. And same with the triple threat match for the world heavyweight title between Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and I'm going to say one name that is not there not to be said in the wrestling world, Chris Benoit. That match, I mean, Benoit's a forbidden name. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do not respect what Benoit did in 2007. I don't respect that at all. I thought that was awful. I think that is horrible. And one thing about that is Benoit should not be mentioned in the wrestling world. And again, and I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry I brought that up.
It's all good,
But that's what I remember from.
Yeah.
But I remember that triple threat match from 2004, and I'm sorry I brought up Chris's name. I truly
okay,
am.
man. You're giving a testimony to why you are a professional fan, what got you in the first place. We were lapsed, once blind, but now we see. There's a renewed passion, spirit, inspiration in professional wrestling, and it's through AEW. With that being said, I'm going to just close with this, give you all some clip notes based on what I heard from the post-media scrub in case y'all didn't hear anything or didn't hear all of it. So Ruby Soho, she is beyond ecstatic. She wanted to be a part of this company because of the youthful exuberance to be able to be herself. She's never had an opportunity before. She's going to burn or she's going to thrive all on her own. And she really wants to see, can she hold up with this roster and elevate it moving forward? She absolutely loves the atmosphere here and can't wait to see what she can do in AEW. By the way, I fucking love this Beetlejuice suit outfit she's got going on. Not gonna lie.
Oh, same here. Same here. Fits Ruby Soho absolutely perfect.
The freaking runaway, Destination All Elite, an incredible addition to this ever-growing roster of professional wrestlers who love and want to show you and bring professional wrestling. Adam Cole, baby. He literally came to this literally off the fact that he could be part of his Twitch. He loves the fact that he can still thrive and connect with this community based off his love for video games. It was one of the brightest things he ever pursued during the pandemic era that helped him move forward. He doesn't hold any resentment towards his previous employer. He appreciates everything that he was able to do there. And yeah, Vince might demand respect. He could be a bit of a person that could be, intimidating, but he thinks the talks, again, they went great, but he wanted to be here because, again, he looks at all these people. He looks at Jungle Boy, which we saw him kick him in the head. He wants to wrestle him. He wants to wrestle the likes of Darby Allin. He knows CM Punk is there now, too, and his girlfriend's also there. And, again, he has so many friends, and he's now feels so good to be back. He literally said, as he was coming out, after you heard, it's all about the boom, he was literally shaking as he was trying to walk down, hold his composure, and get to the ring. So he's looking very forward towards what he can do here, because what he sees here is not, I'm the big marquee guy. What he sees here is renewed opportunity to see what he can do with an incredible roster. So that's just some of the stuff that you can take from what Adam Cole, baby, pushed and motivated him to come to AEW. And he said, again, talking to Tony Khan, you can talk to Tony Khan about anything wrestling. And he loves that because at the end of the day, he's been at this, 16 years? His mom's been sorbing his whole life. I mean, respect. Literally, he wants to come here and be a professional wrestler and wrestle, including against the likes of, well, you said the name, Bryan Danielson, who literally gave a post AEW All Out address and simply said, I came here to fucking wrestle, to be a professional wrestler, but not to necessarily show everybody I'm still the best. I want to see what everyone here is made of. Is Kenny Omega truly the best? How good is CM Punk? And all these other phenomenal talents in this incredible locker room. He came here because he wants to be a professional wrestler, and he feels that Vince might be a little bit overprotective at times. Because again, he left on that company off no bad morale. And he's been thinking about this for a long time. But things about being a professional wrestler with the freedom to take those risks and be what he wants to be truly in that ring across positive companies like we mentioned. You have been name dropping names from Impact Wrestling and NJPW for friggin' Bryan Danielson in the face, including Minoru Suzuki. Just saying. And of course, we saw that subtle walk-by confrontation with, I saw your face, King, with Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole, keeping it professional.
Okay.
Thank you. I think that match is imminent and waiting to happen. But another driving force that gave him the real motivation to go here and clarity, I might add, to come here was the way that the roster handled Brody Lee and his passing, and just they threw away the script. They went off normal routine and dedicated a show to a professional wrestler's well-being, even beyond his passing. It was these motivating factors, these outlooks of this professional wrestling locker room, this thriving, growing, wild, unpredictable, exciting professional wrestling community that pushed all three of these incredible pro wrestlers to now be a part of All Elite Wrestling. And now the sky is absolutely the limit for all three of these incredible pro wrestlers. I cannot fucking wait to see what's next, not only for all of them, but for AEW, which again, right now is the greatest thing in my life to happen as a professional wrestling fan. Speaking of which, as we close, stay tuned, folks, because even though my voice is hoarse, I probably won't have a voice when I come home Thursday night, but I will be back to give you an ATW Spotlight review of the fallout after All Out, as I will be going to Cincinnati Live and seeing Jon Moxley taking on Minoru Suzuki in a homecoming match and a renewed rivalry where two of the craziest, hard-hitting bastards on the planet are literally going to clash against each other again. We will see how dark Dustin Rhodes can go against Malachi Black as he looks to send a statement and stop Malachi Black's reign of terror as he continues to try and torture and tear down the Nightmare family at the expense of Cody, Brock Anderson, Lee Johnson. Is Dustin a victim of the House of Black? We will see soon enough, but you pushed the natural too far. Now you have to face him. But will the boatman's toll be paid? As Tommy Edge subtly alluded to, as that mark on his face continues to grow too. Very interesting. And of course, we will also hear from Ruby Soho, who won the Casino Battle Royal, will make her first Dynamite appearance. What will see Shay ahead of her match imminently coming against Dr. Baker DMD for the Women's World Championship? We will have to wait and see. This and so much more awaits us in AEW just this week alone as we continue the fallout after All Out and this ever-growing professional wrestling evolution that is happening before our eyes. I cannot wait to see what's next. With that being said, gentlemen, we've gone a long time. It's been a hell of a ride and talk. Is there any closing statements, thoughts, regards, questions, fantasies, or expectations you have just this week alone in professional wrestling, AEW or beyond?
I got two breaking news, and it's coming from AEW Dark tomorrow night if you guys plan on watching. I know we three will.
Damn right.
But this is coming from AEW themselves, if I can find it. And AEW tweeted, even though y'all can't see my face as I'm reading this.
Go for it.
The divide members of the Dark Order continues to grow. Earlier tonight on AEW Dark Elevation, 5 questioned Uno's leadership and challenged him to a match. Uno reluctantly accepted, and they will go one-on-one tomorrow night, folks, on AEW Dark, 7 Eastern, 6 Central Standard Time. Now, the second one, this was talked about on Dark Elevation, if you watched, between Diamante and Big Swole.
Yeah.
Now we confirmed it is going to be a 3 strikes match between both of these wonderful ladies. The first fall will be a pinfall. The second fall will be a submission. The third fall, as I come back on screen, I'll tell you, a knockout.
Oh shit, they made it official.
Oh man.
Oh, I love it. Diamante and Big Swole are about to tear into each other. Again, Diamante, how is she not signed yet to All Elite Wrestling? How is so many up-and-coming bright professional wrestlers not part of this company? That's Tony Khan alluded to. Not everybody can be signed to AEW. I know there's many people that the fans want to see part of AEW, and I'm happy to give them the opportunity to show what they can bring. And I hope I can maybe do that one day. But again, I can't sign everybody to AEW either. I look at those that I think will thrive, and I look at those that I know will thrive, and I try and bring them forward to AEW. As Tony Khan alluded to, again, he wants to give professional wrestling fans, professional wrestlers that do professional wrestling, because professional wrestling fans want to watch professional wrestling. End quote. Again, you could say belt, you could say hospital. There's no restriction here towards you being a professional wrestler. All you got to do is truly be the best professional wrestler you can be in the name of bringing forward the industry and this company. And that goes to the strength and the environment of the AEW locker room. I cannot wait for both of those, and I will, of course, be watching that when I get home tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I have to work. But King, great breaking news. Is there anything else on your mind before we conclude?
That's pretty much it. I just want to bring those 2 breaking news to the people that are going to be watching this and to your guys' attention.
Hashtag we're with AEW. It's as simple as that. Again,
we're with AEW. I'm with AEW.
I watch all the All Elite forums and hype them up too, especially women's wrestling. For anybody that follows me on Twitter, you know that. By the way, brief shout out to tonight's AEW Dark Elevation. Dante Minor continues to thrive and escalate and elevate his game. Great match with JD Drake and Sky Blue. She's been getting a hell of a showing lately too, taking on Red Velvet and Rico. Rico and Sky Blue was definitely my favorite match tonight. Very impressive effort by both too. As of course, the 3 AEW workhorses, Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and John Moxley, they gave us a fun closer at the expense of RSP Serpentico and Lufer and his high-pitched voice too. Enough said. That being said, folks, other stuff to come forward through ATW Productions, through my YouTube channel, and both these men's Twitter feeds. Please follow my friends, follow all the ATW crew. There will be coverage, there will be previews, there will be simple takes and reviews on the entirety of the G1 Climax. As this weekend, I will be with Casey Gallagher to discuss G1 Climax 31. You see the blocks before you in its entirety. This and so much more ahead in all things wrestling. But I feel like better than a Monday Night Raw, it is literally about 11 p.m., so I think it's about time to conclude. So I think with that being said, I will bid you all a fine adieu. But before I do, Casey, any closing remarks towards anything this week in AEW too?
Looking forward to AEW Dynamite Wednesday night with Malachi Black versus Dustin Rhodes. And that will be a hard-hitting matchup between these two. And I'm also looking forward to what Ruby Soho has to say. And don't get me wrong, Ruby Soho's entrance theme, like Ruby, Ruby, Ruby Soho.
Love it.
It's kind of catchy. I absolutely love it. I think that theme is a lot better than her what's WW what the hell ever it is.
All right, don't go there. Calm down.
And all right, it's a lot better than her WWE theme. I clarified that.
Right.
And that's my honest opinion right there. And Ruby Soho, I mean, see what she has to say. And Malachi Black versus Dustin Rhodes. Dynamite will be good tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, but Wednesday night. Wednesday night. It will. Damn it, Jim
Yes!
Ross. I sound like you now. I sound like you now.
Good. It
But
wasn't
it's
just
all right.
me. It
Honest
wasn't just
mistake.
me that botched
Honest
tonight. I feel
mistake.
better about myself.
Honest mistake. Honest mistake. Hey, Wednesday night is gonna be great. AEW Dark, Diamante, and Big Swole. Oh Jesus.
I love it.
Somebody better be fasten your seatbelt in this match, because these two are gonna be beating the hell out of each other.
There you
That's
go.
all I have to say.
Yes, and I cannot wait to see that again. You know how much of a fan I am of Diamante, and I love the Diamante and Swole rivalry. I'm definitely rooting for Diamante here. And one more thing I forgot to mention. Also, I will be seeing it live, but you all will be seeing it Friday, recorded. Illegal Andrade will take on the Bastard Pac as part of AEW Rampage, because travel restrictions prevented Andrade Illegal being involved in physical in-ring action on AEW All Out. I'm sure much to the chagrin of some fans. But again, I get to see all this live. I'll be back with a review Thursday night. I promise you. Also, stay tuned. I will be on a one-on-one interview with an All Elite fans experience as part of the ATW crew, our enforcer, Lex Valonzo. That should be a hell of a fun chat. But again, folks, we're tired. We are ATW, and we are all with AEW and love professional wrestling too. We hope we engage you with the discussion, the hype, energy, and our thoughts on what's to come too. But I think officially now, in the immortal way of my favorite Kenny Omega, I will bid you all a fine adieu. Thank you once again for tuning in to the Spotlight from ATW. Goodbye. Mwah. And until the next show, wherever it might be and whoever might be with, good night. Bang.